Okay. Oh no. Of course not. Come on. Today, again, May the 13th, which is Saturday, 2023. And it stopped at 4:20 is when I stopped doing anything. I'll be right back. So, if you ever find that your thing is not letting you do it like this, which you can't see, but like it's meant to be, or well, you have to put this phone to the side, you flip it, you flip the screen. You can't still see the difference because for whatever reason, when it comes to Classic Boy, on the thing, which I've heard it can run on PC, but I've never been able to successfully do it. I've seen like where people show off some videos and whatnot, but I've never been able to get it. All it wants me to do is put it on mobile, so I don't understand. And it's hard to find a emulator that does all for a PC. Yeah. I mean, it's even harder to find one that does even up to PS2 and maybe even PS3. But anyway, so if you're watching this video, then you know what you're here for. The true, actual, nostalgic goal of the nostalgia of the past and of my past. What's going on there? But anyway. Then you know you're here for that, because otherwise, I don't know, I'll tell you. But yeah, otherwise, yeah. And I can't promise that it'll be exactly the same as I did when I was a child. I'll never promise that. I still don't see how anybody can do it, present it the exact same way they did when they was a kid. I mean, you still have, because you have to consider the idea of whether or not, without all the experiences you've had with the game, or with real life, or both, doesn't really matter. It's the idea of how do you represent a game from the past. And a lot of people say, well, yeah, I mean, because I played this. No, you didn't. Or the idea as well that they also kind of claim that it's blind or semi-blind. The only reason why I would call a game blind in the first place is if I really don't know. I mean, I try not to play a game where I know. And sometimes and sometimes I'd rather play it depending on how it goes from the beginning. Like in the beginning, it's okay sometimes, but a lot of times you're more better off knowing at least somewhat to get you started, And I'm talking about without looking at a guide, just like discovering it on your own. And I'll say this, and like I've said before, and I'll say it again even when I'm dead and gone. It's okay to look at a guide. It's not the end of the be-all world because, I looked at a guide and it was written under somebody who played a video to show me. Man, again, I will not watch a video or read a guide unless I get stuck to the point I have to look it up. And how do you think guides got to be what they are, the ones that actually make these videos? Yeah, I mean, they won't claim it like I will. I'm not afraid to. And if that turns off a bunch of people who think they're real guides because they'd rather not go look at someone else when they get stuck, yeah, then I'd hate to tell you this, but they're not real guides. They're not legitimate guides. Not in my eyes. The real legitimate guides are the ones that are going to be either written out, and people who know what the hell they're doing. I mean, at least to a certain point. Because, and also, it doesn't really matter that sometimes guys don't make a difference, make no sense. But, yeah. A lot of times, believe it or not, I played a game called Final Fantasy Legend 3, I believe it was, and I got stuck. I literally played the game on my own, forever looking it up. Every game I've ever played, I've always played it by myself on my own. I admit that I have tried to, but if I get stuck in the beginning, then I guess I'll have to look it up. If I get to the point that I just, can't get any further, no matter what I try, then by God, I guess it's time to look at a guide. And you know what? It's time to accept it. You know? Don't be afraid to accept a real guide. You know? I'm a real guide. Regardless of whether I want to be or not, I'm a guide. Or whether I admit to it. Or want to. You know? I'm not saying I'm going to be a better guide, but I will say that I am a guide. You know? I mean, as far as Avion is concerned, hell yeah, because it's an underrated game. So, that's different. Anyway, so also, a little bit of a strobe light warning, which is also a flash warning. For those of you who are who suffer from epilepsy, because this game does contain it. This video may contain it. I don't know if it will or not, but always be advised to keep that in mind, as you might want to keep your settings adjusted if you haven't already. Because, yeah, it contains scenes that are not suitable, which are the ones that are flashing scenes. It does, like with the sword when you go get it and stuff like that, you know. I can't promise to remember to let you know, but if I know ahead of time, then I'll do my best. And also, please don't post any spoilers anywhere, as we want to keep it free, spoiler free as much as possible. Tips are okay. They are, but not spoilers. Spoilers will be removed. All I ask is that you wait till the end of the game if you know anything. See, I like to try and spoil it by letting the game do it. Even though sometimes I can't help it when I'm so excited. I've been playing this game so long, I've been dropping hints, trying not to do it too much, because I don't want to spoil the game to the point it's not really enjoyable. So, you know, I mean, you know, because like I said, I'm not playing exactly how I did it in my childhood, no, but it is part of my childhood itself. And I have played this game a lot, I just haven't, you know, played it as much as, you know, Final Fantasy Mystic Quest. See, the thing about Mystic Quest is I play it even when I was sick. And if I've repeated myself, and that's because I'm just repeating, you know, that's as I go along. So pay no mind. It's just kind of a note to myself anyway. So I did not mean to pick that up. That kind of happened. It was actually a rare glitch that kind of happened, by the way, just so you know. I have never picked up a one of these bottles, grabbed that and just grabbed a heart, or one with the heart in it. Although it really matters not, because it's going to respawn anyway, so that's pretty good, I would say. So the reason why I'm as well trying to get this up is, you know, is in this episode I intend to prepare myself. I am going to take on, I will go ahead and take on Crystal 3, but I'm not going to beat it yet until I go through and do Crystal 7. Now, after that, my choices are, I can either go ahead and take on Crystal 1, or I could take on Crystal 7 and then Crystal 3. Or do 3 and then 7. Doesn't matter. In any particular order, because yeah. See, look at that. That was a rare glitch. And, you know, that was like some. I guess it's a rare glitch as well if you can actually fall into the where you can pop right back out where you're in your house. So you're not going to find it in the dark world. Yeah, so I triggered you. I don't care. So we need enough to buy ourselves some blue medicine. So, and we're pretty much almost done as far as getting the treasures of these dungeons. And plus, makes things a little bit easier. And some things, it's like I said, we'll be backtracking. I forgot for the reason why, but believe it or not, but you know, I do know that yeah, you gotta get things in order to complete other things. Like with Crystal 5, you can still get the armor out of it, but you can't beat it unless you have what's in Crystal 6. So Crystal 6 is gonna be your thing. You know, you can either wait till after you get the treasure out of there, which is the armor. or that, but you still have to have at least the glove in order to even get into 5. But you also have to have, in order to finish that, you have to have, like I said, that. And you also have to have at least the hammer as well. So, but it's good that we have this. There's also something else that's going to make us a little bit more somewhat able to take on, I forget what it is. I know 7 would be easier, but it's also something else that has to do with something else. But we'll get into that. Sometimes it's funny to mess with them. Not that I'm gonna, basically driving them nuts. Ow! How's in the back of my head? Driving me nuts. Anyway, so yeah, I still can't believe the way my life has turned out for a lot of reasons. And then the worst of all, things you never would believe. So yeah. I know. And we're going to go ahead and get one more red rupee, and then we're going to stop. Because at least at this point, juncture, we don't have to get max. But I will before the end of the game, or I can wait till when I go to do it for a bit shoot. Either way, it doesn't really matter because, I'm not going to be able to fully 100% the game anyway until I get at least the final heart piece. So that is a thing I thought I would point out. So and I typically stand with the one with the house. I mean, not that it really matters where you're going to get fairies at, because you could have 4 fairies, but it depends on where you're going to be needing magic. So I would choose to have at least a couple of bottles of blue medicine, because it would help to keep up your hearts, and so you can use magic. You could use also 4 blue bottles if you wanted to, but it also, again, depends on whether or not you're going to be using magic, which typically in most dungeons you will. Okay, so what did I do there? Did I grab 3? Yes, I did. I did not mean to do that. Oh well. It's just a thing. Even though how I've always played it is I always had like 1 bottle maybe, and I had a specific bee, but I'm not going to play it like that, how I would do it personally, because it's just not the way you're supposed to, because the bees in this game are really not that useful. The only time they're actually useful is if they present to be where they can take out enemies, and you're not going to be using it that very often anyway, so there's really not much point in it. So for me, it's the only point of it is because I like to use it that way. Yeah, so that is a thing I thought I would point out, because that's just how I am. Yeah, you're going to have to grind each and every time. So I mean, if you get yourself up to 500, you'll be okay for a while. I would suggest and recommend you at least get enough so that you don't have to constantly do that for each dungeon. Even though you'll still have to kind of grind anyway, but it won't be nearly as bad as what I'm doing. So let's see. Let's go take on... I'm not sure I actually need what's in 3 to tackle on 6. Or not 6, but... yeah, 6. Sorry. Even though there's supposed to be like, there's supposed to be 8 crystals actually, but there's actually only 7. So as crazy as that seems, I don't know where the 8th crystal would come into play, but that's just the way it is. So what you're gonna do, and unlike in the light world, you don't actually have to, pound down the hammer nails. You really don't. It's crazy that in here, it's just a bush. You still have to remove. The fence doesn't get removed. Oh, you bitch. Oh, well. So what we're going to do now is we're going to go in here. I don't really care. So, I don't want to get my thing stolen from me. So if I go this way, there are plenty of places we probably should be going, but I'm not going to do that. Now, what we can do is we can go in here, take our first glimpse. Yep, there it is. That's the chest that we need. It's actually through this door. There's actually this door here that leads into another door. And what we can do is we can actually do something that will absolutely make this possible for us to go through this, so we don't have to do that. What you want to do, and you don't have to do this early on, or you get the master key, but you can. What you want to do now is, since we have these, we're going to do this and get away from there. Oh, crap. Didn't mean to do that, but that's alright. It doesn't really matter. So what we're going to do is we're actually going to do this. That goes in there. And then we can do this. It makes that go away. So this makes it much more easier to deal with than doing it later, so yeah. I did not mean to do that, but you know, whatever. Just in case you ran out of things, but it doesn't really matter because now I can go over here, and not only that, but we get to have a chance to look at this. It's locked. If you have the big key, you might be able to open it. So, I mean, you don't necessarily need that every time you start to do this thing, but it's kind of, you know, funny to do that without it, especially going up to the big doors, even though sometimes you don't have a choice but to do that before you can get to the big doors. So, yeah, we got the big map. So, you know, it doesn't really do anything as far as lighting them up, like as I say, that we've actually been in there. So now the biggest question is, where do we go, right? Well, I think this leads to somewhere we don't need to be, so I think we want to go in here. Memory serves me, and that is just not how I want to do things. By the way, there's a hand that pops up, so you have to be careful of that. I wish that thing would have hit that. So, by the way, there's also another upgrade we can get. That actually comes in handy to destroy those red ones. Oh, crap. Yeah, we got you from the Meg campus. Which, if you don't know, goes down there. So we actually want to get, I think, a key. It comes up and to be here. And we're gonna need the almighty. Ooh. Okay. Now this is what you want to do. Yep. These guys are susceptible to bombas. That's good. So there's also a door we want to go into that's going to be very difficult to get past because there it is, the hand. Oh god, there he is now. So now we have a key. And I can't remember where that goes to. Okay, there's your thing. Oh, never mind. I was thinking that it was lit it to something else. So, now I want to go... Yeah, we want to fall down the hole. Except don't really do that, because that will not serve you any... Go! Come on, dude. Okay. Hey, the thing about this place is that you don't actually have to worry so much as it is when you got to do... Okay. You know, the ice palace, because ice palace is very slippery. Of course. I want to take down these guys and get this chest here. This chesticle is something that we really... Whoa! That was a close call. Alright. No, God, don't get stuck there. Oh, that was close. Okay, and by the way, if you want to get past those, you got to go through the. You can use an invincible the cape, and that hand is just about everywhere. So, but if you want to avoid the hand, you can either use bombos or. That's what I like about having an upgraded sword. Comes in handy. Now we can go this way. And I believe if we go this way, we will find... I'm not sure. Oh, yes. Okay. Well, we want to do this. This, there's a place to go over there. Ah, there's that place I was telling you about. Ah, I was thinking it through that door. He got killed by that thing. That's amazing. That's the first time I've ever seen that where they get taken out by that. Now that key is for that alone, so. And just in case you're wondering where this goes. This goes where we need to go, but that's if you're taking out the crystal. So, what I'm going to do here, go through here, go out, we'll go back in, alright. Come on, hand, where are you? Alright, so we actually want to do this. Oh, hello. Okay, so this is why, another reason why I like save states, because I can do this without having to worry about that. Also, we missed out on some footage because the game likes to be... Or that video I had to do got corrupted. So the only thing you missed out on really was the idealistic thing about, you know. Oh, damn it. Okay. This would have been better if I didn't. Okay, so now what we want to do is we want to save here, and Oh, dang, we're out of time. Alright, well, I'll see you guys in the next episode. Until then, later.